And welcome to this women's tennis preview from the Black and Gold Banneret YouTube channel. I'm Bryson Turner, and joining us, as always, is head women's tennis coach and the director of UCF Tennis, Bryan Koniecko. Coach Koniecko, how are you doing on this 2025 day?
We are great. Great to be back. Thanks for having me on, Bryson, and looking forward to chatting with you.
I always look forward to chatting with you as well. So first off, I want to be ask you something quickly as part of your director of tennis role. Lloyd Bruce Burgess, of course, who you helped bring on to the men's tennis team and was your assistant once upon a time on the women's side, ended up having quite the opening act as the head men's tennis coach. Just as someone who's helped him along on this coaching journey, whether it's as his boss as a head coach or director of tennis, what was it like to watch him have that crazy of a first season as a head coach?
Yeah, it was very happy for him, obviously. First of all, always when it's your first year, you want to do well. You want to, even though we all knew what he could do, you want to prove it to yourself that you're ready for this challenge. And obviously, not that he needed to, but he obviously proved it to himself that he's as good of a coach as there is in college tennis. And yeah, it was no surprise to me. Lloyd. Lloyd is somebody that does this job 6.5, 7 days a week, and it's a big reason why he was able to get the promotion and lead the men to be the leader of the men's team, and he's done a fantastic job. And I think Lloyd is just somebody that he just needed to. He always had the work ethic. He came in and learned what is probably needed to recruit at UCF and the way to some ways to do it, and then obviously he's such a great motivator to the guys, and the guys had a great core group already, and he did a tremendous job motivating them, and ended up to having a fantastic year. You know.
So, how has it been now settling into the director of tennis role now that we're a year on from, your promotion to that position?
Yeah, yeah, just evolving and learning and finding different. I feel like different things every year of how we can enhance the program, especially with how times are changing. But we're just, always trying to stay a step ahead if we can. And it's just, probably, Lloyd is obviously settled and he knows what he's doing. He's doing a fantastic job, and we're just both trying to raise awareness of tennis in the Orlando area. That's probably been one of our biggest things, and trying to get people to understand, how good these teams are and get our support, and especially with now hosting the NCAA tournament for the next 10 years. We really want to get Orlando out, so we've been trying to get involved with the community as much as we can, and on top of developing players and recruiting.
Yeah, I've been seeing those headlines all over. Speaking of that USTA thing, what's it like to potentially, at least the NCAA is trying to have Orlando as kind of a iconic tennis location, like how Omaha is for baseball?
Yeah, I'm obviously biased, but I always thought it was a good idea. I mean, whether I was at UCF or whether if it was another location, I think venues need the opportunity to get better after year by year, right? And I think when you keep moving venues and championships, they never can really grow and learn from the previous year, and ultimately make the event better for the student athletes and everyone and the fans involved in the event. So I think this will allow us to do that. I think the USTA does a fantastic job of promoting it in the Orlando area. They have a huge platform that they utilize to get people out, and it's just an easy place to get to for everyone in the country. You fly into Orlando, and you're 12 minutes from the tennis courts, and there's a ton of hotels and stuff like that. And people like tennis in Orlando, so I think it all makes sense. And I'm excited to just try to help grow it, and really make tennis in Orlando a thing.
Well, you're certainly doing that with some community events. I see that some match points and mimosas and no nights happy hours are dotted all over the schedule. I don't know how involved you were with that process, but if you were, what was it like kind of coming up with that?
Yeah, that was, like I said, that was one of our ideas to kind of come up with and get more people out, and hopefully people that are listening. I think such a great thing. Every Friday night we play at 6 p.m. You can check on our schedules, and that's when we do Nona nights, which is basically a beverage setup where you can go and have a cocktail or two and enjoy tennis and some good energy and good music. And Sundays at noon we do kind of the same thing where you can have yourself a mimosa or a Bloody Mary and watch tennis and come out and support the Knights. And we have a lot of people in the community that love tennis, and we're just trying to get them out to the matches. But those are some things to look out for, something new that we added to this year's schedule. And and hopefully as we gain momentum and the USTA is gaining momentum with getting tennis in the Orlando area, we'll keep getting more and more supporters and hopefully do our part on the tennis court.
I'm sure it also helps that the USTA is pledged to make some upgrades to the facility, like adding some shaders over the Collegiate Center bleachers.
Yeah, we're gonna, down the road, I believe part of the deal is to add shade. We're gonna add six more indoor tennis courts with seating, which is a huge deal, obviously, and a couple big scoreboards on both sides, so all fans can see the scores on all the courts. So those additions, yeah, are gonna be already incredible to an already amazing tennis facility. So.
I've been having been to the USTA Collegiate Center plenty of times. It's already a pretty cool facility to watch college tennis, so I'm really excited to see what the facility upgrades are at. Speaking of other changes that you alluded to earlier, there were reports from John Rothstein a couple of days ago about the prospect of all collegiate athletes getting 5 years of eligibility and eliminating the red shirts. I don't know, it's been a couple of days since that happened, but we kind of been asking the coaches ever since we talked about what their thoughts on the matter are now that it's kind of been put out there into the ether.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really have a opinion, probably one way or the other. I mean, I do think it's nice. I think it's nice to give people the option of a fifth year, and just kind of keep it clean. I think with all the waivers and stuff that goes on, it probably simplifies things of like who was hurt when. And, I mean, obviously, I know football's having a problem with it, with people playing 3, 4 games and sitting out, and probably just creates a little bit of an easier thing. But I think it's nice, I mean, for me personally, sometimes when you have somebody for 4 years, what I always say, it usually takes them a year and a half or 2 years to really get it and understand what college athletics is all about. And then by the time they get it, you only have 2 years with them. So I guess it's nice to have a third if they decide to go that route. But yeah, probably changes again a lot of things with recruiting and the way things that are gonna happen. But it's probably a positive thing because the kids can choose to either graduate or if they still don't know what they want to do or want to do a master's program, they can still stay, which is great for them. Yeah.
Indeed. So let's go ahead and get on the court. So last season, finished below 500 again, but you wouldn't have known it considering you ended up w winning 7 of your last 9 matches, alongside with dealing with injuries and some mid-season additions to the team. When you look back at what you guys were able to achieve, especially on the back half of last season, what's the biggest thing that kind of sticks out to you?
Just how, yeah, I mean, it was, obviously my first year missing the NCAA tournament, which is always, you play to make the tournament and try to make a run at the tournament. So that was obviously difficult, but, I think, I told the team at the end of last year how proud of them I was and how they came so close together and they continued to fight. That was the number one thing for me. I mean, we had a rough start. We lost so many matches, 4-2 and 4-3. And, we had multiple matches where we had match points in the doubles and match points in the singles. And it's one of those years that we just, the ball didn't roll our way for 4 or 5 matches. And, probably just one of those, it goes our way and we make the tournament. So, which was unfortunate, but our group came and fought for each other so hard. Noel Saydanova and Nick Kattenberg, our two seniors, really kept fighting, and our whole team wanted to finish strong for them. And we ended up giving Oklahoma State a run. Both times came a little bit short, the number one team in the country, but we definitely we left it all out there at the end of the year for sure.
Yeah, you of course, brought in Donatella mid season. She ended up getting a couple of wins
Mm.
for you on the court there. I saw that she won a sword award, which was pretty cool. And now she's back once again this season. What's it like to have now had an off season to work with her, and I guess what does she look like now that she has had that kind of off season to really be with a varsity team like this?
Yeah, yeah, great question. I mean, Donatella, obviously, for people who don't know the story, got added mid-year. I think in March, she was the number one player on the club team and came onto our team, and she is just one of the best kids ever. Just very respectful. Just so happy to be a UCF Knight, and does everything that's asked of her to do. And she came in a tough situation and actually beat I think Texas in doubles in her first match at UCF, which was pretty crazy with Olivia Linster at three doubles. But we didn't change much technically with Donna during the season because obviously there's just so many things thrown into it. But Donna, did 7 weeks with us this summer. Was here in December training, and she's made a big jump physically. She's had a great fall. She's beaten a ton of great players in the fall tournament. So she's definitely going to see the court this year, for sure, and we're excited. But she's definitely in an improved version, and she's into it, and she wants to be great. So we'll be definitely a different season for Donna this year.
Awesome. Well, then of course you have your senior. I mean, obviously from you're looking at remember from Lloyd last year, you had Leighton, and then as the one senior, and then everyone else. This time around with you have Sophia as the lone senior on the roster, along with a very youth heavy group. What's it like for Sophia coming into this season now with this kind of leadership role? I mean, because she made it, she qualified for the NCAA singles tournament last year.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, it's crazy that it's already Sophia's senior year, but Sophia is somebody that she just works by example. I mean, she's as hard of a working person on our team that we have, and she was one of our rocks last year, and she's a bulldog on the court. I mean, she'll just do whatever necessary to win, and it's going to be nice to see Sophia step into a role of having more of a voice this year, rather than only just leading by example, which is what we'll need with five freshmen and a sophomore included in that lineup. So she's going to have to definitely be outspoken, and I think she's excited for it, and excited to have a great senior year.
Let's talk about that sophomore, shall we? Olivia Linster, now Big 12 freshman of the year. How do you kind of follow up on that now into this season?
Well, so far she's followed up well. She had a fantastic fall, and she's sitting at 430 in the world right now in the WTA rankings, and won herself another professional event this summer, which made it her second of her career, and made I think three semifinals. This fall semester. So she's been doing great, and obviously college is a little bit of a different ball game than professional tennis, but I think she's learned so much from last year, and obviously she started playing better and better as the year went on. Which any great freshmen do, they learn. But she played a lot of matches at one last year, and as a freshman, which was tough to do, and she handled it well. And we're gonna obviously keep leaning on Olivia Linster. She's one of our great players, and hopefully she can keep following up on such a great freshman year.
And then you have Jay coming back for her junior year, fairly reliable on the singles side of things, 6 and 11 in doubles last year. Didn't see too much action this fall, going 0-2 in singles play. What have you seen from Jay, and what could we see from her in 2025?
Yeah, Jay. Jay was dealing with a little bit of a wrist, last year, as everyone knows, and was just playing with sliced backhand. So she's working really hard to, basically trying to take the fall off to get it right, and do everything she can to help the team. But she's been doing a good job. She's also somebody that is going to be a captain alongside Sophia, and both of them have some great experience. And they both are hungry to have a better year this year for sure.
Speaking of the NCAA, of course, has the new has implemented the new pilot program this year, where the singles and the doubles individual championships were in the fall. And so, in the fall, what was it like to kind of have fall tennis have this new kind of paradigm to it? I know you didn't have it people make it to the NCAA's and individuals, but you also had some success on the pro circuit.
Yeah, I personally like it, and I like it because tennis is a little bit different than most sports, where we have individual rankings and team rankings. So I like that because the tournament got moved to the fall. The fall is for your individual self, right? You're playing, some of the matches you're playing with UCF clothes on and UCF gear, but ultimately you're playing for your own ranking and to make the NCAA tournament and trying to become an All-American. And I think when that used to be in the spring, people cared about where they maybe play in the lineup, whether it's one, two, or three, because they obviously need to play high in order to make the NCAA tournament. And I think moving it to the fall allows us as coaches and players as a team to just kind of focus on the team in the spring. And it's about getting to 4 points, and it's about UCF and how we can represent this university the best way that we can. So I kind of like it how they separated it. And also, look, I mean, if you're a top player and you make the NCAA tournament at the end of the year, how it used to be, you used to have to play all the team, and then you'd have to turn around the next day and play the individual event, basically exhausted, So it kind of allows you to just play the individual stuff in the fall and focus on the team in the spring, and I like that.
So how did this fall feel different than other falls you've been a head coach?
Um, I mean, I don't think it really has. I mean, I think the only difference is that it extended the fall probably an extra week because of the championships being in November 18th, I believe. So it extends it a little bit, but you still play the same tournaments. The only difference is that the Nationals is added on a week later. But ultimately we're doing the same stuff. Where some of our girls are playing some pro events, some of our girls are playing some of the college events. So not much has changed except adding to the carrot to try to make the NCAA individual tournament at the end of the fall.
You mentioned earlier you have five freshmen on this team, kind of like how the men brought in this large recruiting class a couple of years ago that are now entering their junior year. You
Yeah.
now have your own large group of freshmen to go off of. What really has stuck out about that to you this season, and what's it like to have a youth-heavy team like this?
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of going over details, like little details that might seem very obvious to a sophomore or junior or senior going through it already. Just trying to prepare them as much as possible of what the pressures of college tennis will bring out of you and the emotions that'll bring out of you. So we're just trying to really talk a little bit more about the details of that stuff, putting a little bit more emphasis on practices and treating it like match day and like games, because that's really the only way that we're going to learn. So it's definitely going to be a learning year for them, but they're all very willing to learn, and they're very willing to try to do the best they can for UCF. I can definitely say that this year with this group, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see, where there are going to be bumps in the road for sure, but how we come out of those bumps and how we learn is going to dictate our year for sure.
Already a couple of those freshmen have seen success in nights uniforms this fall, or at least on the pro circuit anyway. I was reading about Aya over this fall, and to
Mm,
see the accolades or the flowers she's been receiving from the tennis community. She reached as high as like 603 in the WTA standings at one point in
mm,
time. She was
mm.
playing for her country, Morocco, in the Billie Jean King Cup. What was it like to kind of recruit her, especially considering the Moroccan to UCF pipeline on the men's side of things? And what have you seen from her this offseason and expectation for 2025?
Yeah, recruiting Aya was great. You can tell she was somebody that's highly motivated to get better at tennis. Tennis is definitely the favorite part of her day, and that excited us. And obviously her knowing Yassine and Mehdi and Waleed, they're kind of very very close friends, almost like they're brothers back home. So that obviously helped with the familiarity of things. But yeah, I'm very excited for Aya. Aya is gonna. Aya's just a very hard worker, and she's gonna be a great player. We're fortunate to have Aya, and really hungry to work with her every day and improve. But she's gonna bring some fire to the court this year for sure.
Then, of course, you also have Olivia Bergler, who teamed up with Sophia to make it to the finals in a doubles tournament over up in Clemson, another Olivia from Poland as well. What was it
Yeah.
like to see her development this offseason, especially and develop such chemistry with Sophia right away?
Yeah, that was a great result for them, making the finals of a pro tournament. I think that was the first time them playing together. So, um, it's Olivia Bergler is another one that I mean, loves tennis. Tennis by far the favorite part of her day, and this is what she wants to do. And I feel like when you have players like an Aya, Olivia Bergler, really, honestly, everyone on our roster. It looks forward to coming to work and coming to be on the tennis court. That's their favorite part of the day, and that's what we always kind of try to preach. And we have that. So when you have that, they improve. And Olivia Bergler's another one. She's going to be a freshman that's going to go through a lot and learn a lot, but I think she's going to be a great night as well.
Other three freshmen, Hannah Riley, Jade Sonka, and Caroline Noe.
Yeah.
Just what sticks out to you about them, and what could we see from them in 2025?
Yeah, Hannah Rylett's somebody that we saw in England, and we offered her on the spot from seeing her the first day. She was that impressive to us, and then we got to know her and her family a little bit more, and just very impressive. She loves to play for the team. She's got that British in her that loves to play for the team and loves to do the chants. So she's going to be great for us. Excited to work with her. Jade, same thing. Jade had a good fall, is learning a lot. She came earlier with us and worked some in the summer, so I'm excited for her to see some court time. And Caroline is came from Texas. She's going to redshirt this year, so she's just working on developing this year and helping the team as much as she can off the court.
All right. I talked a second ago about Olivia and Sophia and doubles play. You talk about Noelle and Anique, of course.
Mhm.
They're departing from the team this year. They were your most successful doubles players last year. So coming into this year, how was it? What was it like working with these players on their doubles? And at least you had some early success with Sophia and Olivia, but of course you need two doubles wins to get a point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not a lot of work is needed and continue to be needed in doubles. I mean, anytime that you lose a couple seniors and with the youth of our team, doubles is always going to be a question mark. So we're spending a lot of times. It's obviously a very valuable and important point in college tennis, and we need to be up 1-0 a lot if we want to beat some good teams. So doubles is a priority, and the freshmen are trying to learn the system as fast as possible, but it's definitely something that we're harping on every day. And 14 more days, we don't have too many days to lose, so we're trying to do it every day.
So, for the benefit of those watching, we are recording this on Monday, January 6th, which is the day that the ITA rankings, the first of the year, drop. And UCF end up being ranked at number 25 in these rankings, one of two Big 12 teams to make it, the other one being Oklahoma State at number 4 in the nation. Looking at that, what does that tell you about the national tennis community's view on this team for this season?
Yeah, I mean I don't think we kind of already knew. I mean, we have a good team. We have a good team. They're a talented group. But it's nice to be nationally recognized, but obviously to me, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, we have to prove it. We have to prove it every day. And the difference of the number 11 team in the country and the number 41 team in the country is dictated by 3-4 points every set. So if we understand how close we can be to becoming better than that or worse than that, and stay humble about it, I think we can overachieve. But it doesn't tell me anything that I didn't already know. I mean, there's talent on this roster, and but there's youth on this roster, so we're gonna have to manage that and try to learn quickly.
Looking at the schedule this time around, you have two double headers, one to open the season on January 19th, and then another on February 14th, which includes the last year's ASUN champion in Stetson. What was your philosophy with this non-conference schedule this time around?
Yeah, so we definitely wanted more matches. We wanted to try to the Big 12 is a challenging conference, and you're put in on the road. You were put in tough environments. We play we play matches in altitude. We play matches indoors. It's just environments that we're not used to. So we're trying to get more experience. We're trying to put these freshmen in more learning experiences in matches, so we can better prepare ourselves for the Big 12. You know, and so that's yeah, that's basically the bottom line. You know, we're playing a good amount of teams from the state of Florida and traveling locally, which is nice. A little bit less toll on the body as we start to go in the Big 12 and travel, you know, a decent amount.
Well, traveling a decent amount you'll do for non-conference, at least one is going to be the ITA kickoff weekend. We
Mm.
got UCLA and then either Washington or Columbia. UCLA, of course, made the Elite Eight last year, major test early on the season. Then you either face a first round team in the Washington or one of the top Ivy League teams. How much is that weekend going to be to kind of see where this team is in terms of their development?
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be exciting. I mean, it's gonna be the first time we're on the road. We're across the country. You know, the nice thing is we get to play outside, which is what we're going to be used to. We don't have to play indoors like sometimes have had in the past, and we're going to get to you know, have fun and play free against a good UCLA team, and kind of let it all fly and see how it goes. You know, obviously. I believe if we do what we're supposed to do, we definitely have a chance to create an upset. But it's going to be a fun challenge, and like you said, Washington and Columbia are great teams too. So it's a great pot of four, and yeah, it's going to tell us a lot. But you know, no matter if we win or lose there, there's still so much season to be had. I mean, we started off well last year with a great win at Georgia Tech at home, and then lost a couple close ones. So you know, if there's anything we take from last year, it's can't get too high or too low because somebody's there out to get you for sure. For sure.
You're gonna have quite the start to conference play this time around. The first weekend, your second conference match will be an away match against Oklahoma State this time around, and
Mm.
followed a few days later by NCAA tournament team Baylor. You have a couple of NCAA tournament teams later on, but as far as that first part of the conference, what's the biggest thing you're hoping to see from this team when you have to go to Stillwater?
I think by that time, I mean, hopefully that you know, we've kind of figured out our doubles pairings. We kind of know what we're doing. We're getting on the same page with doubles, as that's going to be a very important point. And hopefully at that point, we're doing a better job of dealing with adversity. That's we've probably already learned for a couple months playing on the road and playing some matches. Um, so yeah, I mean, you know, we obviously have the belief that you know, we can knock off the top team in the Big 12. We came close last year a couple times, and you know, we gotta have the courage to go up and do it. You know, so we're going to be ready for that challenge. And but yeah, for sure, you know, that's you know, we want to be ready, but January 19th is the most important thing for us and opening day.
What's the difference between the team you saw during that during last season versus the team we're looking at right now?
Um, Well, you know, last season we had more experience, right? We had last season we had more people that have gone through it. You know, this season I think we're very talented, but we don't have the experience. We don't know what it feels like, you know, to have the match on the line and be the only one left on the court with everyone else watching. You know, we don't have those experience from many of the players. You know, half of our lineup will have that experience for the first time. So, you know, learning how to deal with those circumstances is going to be very important for us. But you know, last year we had the experience and we had people that we can kind of rely on and trust when the moments came through. But you know, this team, they definitely want to come through. So I'm excited to see it.
Not only do you have new additions on the court from a player standpoint, but you also have a new coach joining you on the staff this time around. Coach Shiva, volunteer assistant coming over from Idaho.
Yeah.
How did that situation end up coming about, and what does he bring to this staff?
Yeah, so Coach Shiva, he's been phenomenal. He's you know, he's a young guy, but he loves tennis. He is probably as knowledgeable for his age as I've ever seen, and someone who, you know, very into technique and strategy. And he definitely brings a different perspective for me and to some of the players on the team. So he's somebody that is just very willing to learn. I think he really wants to do this as a profession, and you know, got some great experience at Idaho and now moving on to a program here where he transferred to school here at UCF, taking some classes and helping our team. But he's been great. He just wants to learn, and I think he's really excited to help out this year.
Looking at this, I mean, at the day that we're recording this, you have just under 2 weeks before you guys get your first match underway on January 19th against Georgia Southern and Bethune-Cookman. What's the biggest thing you want to see from this team between now and that and those first serves?
Just treating every practice like it's match day. That's what we're talking about every day. Treating our practice sets how we would treat matches. Our preparation has to be phenomenal, especially with the youth that we have. So we're trying to hold a very, very high standard to how we show up every day and maximizing every minute that we have together. And what I like to call being in the coach's pocket. If we're talking to be fully engaged and trying to learn this as fast as we can. So that's what we have to do today. We had good 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We practiced our first 3 days back, and we gave them the first day of school off today, and we're back to work tomorrow.
All right, awesome. In that case, I mean, you talked about how you want to get the community out there, and I know you kind of was pitching it a little bit right now, but what's the biggest thing you want to be able to want to say in Night Nation about getting the community out there, and just how can they, help support this team?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that understanding how valuable their help is to our players to help win these matches, to be our home support system. Our players, want to fight for UCF. They want to fight for Orlando, and they love having people support out there. And I think some of these players are have a chance to play on tour one day and be in the Grand Slams. So I think you have an opportunity to see these players when they're young, before they maybe make it on tour. And it's a great level of tennis. It's high energy. We got good music. We got drinks out there, and come out and grab a couple of drinks and scream and yell for the Knights.
What's it like being in playing in Lake Nona, with considering most of the sports are on the main campus?
Yeah, it's unique, It's definitely has helped us in the recruiting process. It's unique, It's we get fans that love tennis. We're starting to get some more people who are, UCF supporters, but I think UCF as a brand that's growing so much. And I've lived in Lake Nona since 2016, and which was nothing there. And just seeing over the years how many more people have the UCF flags in their homes and the license plates and all of that stuff. It's really cool for me to see. So I think we're getting more of the not only people that love tennis but also love UCF. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't been to the facility, it's probably the best tennis facility in America, and it's a reason why we're going to be hosting the NCAA tournament.
Yes, sir. USTA National Campus, first match of the season, January 19th, 11 a.m. against Georgia Southern and 4 p.m. against Bethune-Cookman. Coach, thank you for your time. Always appreciate our preseason talks, and best of luck this season.
Thank you, Bryson. See you out there.